there, and welcome to Actually Aubrey, and we have with us today the lovely, the classy, the very beautiful, the very zen Ace.
Thank you.
How
I'm so
are you
excited to
doing?
be here. Thanks, Aubrey. Hi, Alex.
All righty. Yeah, so we're excited to have you. I mean, I know
Yes, we are.
I know your DM's probably been getting flooded since the show and things of that nature because you guys go from, normal lives to quote unquote television stars, whatever that may entail.
Right.
So your DMs get flooded, but us who enjoy the show, we've always loved the show. We love to cover the people on the show, but we also love to find out more about who you guys really are, prior to. And I've always coined you, Ace, and from all season, and Aubrey will tell you this, you are the epitome of peace. That's what I would always say. I say Ace is the epitome of peace. So in that regard, where did the name Ace come from? Is that a nickname or how did that go about?
Yes, it is a nickname actually. It's one of those things where I feel like things evolve. Angel is like what a lot of people call me, and I kind of had to grow up a little bit and develop some like tough skin and go through some life lessons. And I feel like through the evolution of all of that, Ace kind of like appeared, right? So Ace is definitely a nickname, but I kind of hold strong to it. Ace of Spades, baby. We got to make sure that we are winning. So yeah, definitely a nickname.
Yes, great. And where were you born and raised, Ace?
Yes. So a lot of people see the name like Ace of VA, like on Instagram and things of that nature. DC is my birthplace. I've always felt like a special connection to DC. My father was in the military, so we were up there for a span of time in my life. But majority of my growing up and my childhood was spent in Virginia. So I'm kind of a half city girl, half country girl at heart. Some people I don't even know. They probably hear of PG County, Maryland, but not PG County, VA. But kisses to Prince George.
Okay.
So So Virginia is definitely like home for me.
Yeah, I'm down here in Chesapeake, so I'm a little
okay.
Yeah.
Chesapeake, and I see right up the street. Just gotta hit 460, baby.
That's it. But like Aubrey knows, I always got to tell this. I have to claim my Brooklyn, New York roots because that's where I'm from originally. So,
And we can all hear that accent of his.
So yeah, that's what I do. So,
yeah.
But let me ask you this, Ace. Going to high school, where'd you go to high school at?
Yeah, Prince George County is where I went to high school. So that's again where I spent like most of my time. Shout out to everyone like from the city, like us good old 804 babies. But yes, that's where I went to high school, 9 through 12. Some good fun times. Lord have mercy. Take me back to high school years. Jesus. I know y'all know that song when she was like, some of y'all got the thing way back. That was me in that moment when you said high school. I was like, okay, Lord, let me think way back to that time. But yeah, high school was fun too. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. How were things in your household? You have siblings, brothers, sisters?
Yes, so I have 2 sisters. I'm the oldest, and so I have my middle sister and my youngest sisters, and those are like my ride or dies. You know what I mean? Like we are like the womb woes, is what we like to call ourselves. Super close in spirit, not necessarily in age. We have like a 5 to 7 year span between us, but we're all like super close. So shout out to Gigi and Des. I love you ladies.
Are they still in DC area or are you guys all over the place?
Yeah, well, they're actually in the Virginia area. So we see each other often. We stay up, we go out for brunch, or we just go out to sit on the deck and listen to some music and party out for a bit. But we're all pretty like close to each other. And we make sure that throughout everything, we take the time to connect one way or another. And so I'm so appreciative of my sisters.
Yeah. So let me ask you this, as you begin to mature and come through life a little bit, high school, did you go to college at all or no?
I did, baby. Shout out to Virginia State University. Woo, woo,
oh, okay. Okay.
I I also shout out Virginia State because I am on the board of directors for the Foundation of Virginia State. So it's like a special place for me.
Wow.
Went there and attended college, and then turn around and give back by serving the board of directors of the foundation. So shout out to VSU.
Right. And in any way we can help you and support any business endeavor, we'll get into that later. But yeah, we want to definitely hear more about that.
Cool.
Yeah. But in your dating life early on, you know, I guess all of us have a first love, so to speak. When was the first time you was bitten by this love bug, so to speak? And how old were you?
Oh my God. We always
there you go.
To them past people.
Oh my goodness, there goes my tea.
Look, I'm going to pick up the water this time around. We're going to wait for the wine as we go further into the conversation, Lord.
Okay. All right. Take your time. Hydrate. Stay hydrated.
Stay hydrated, baby. First love, I kind of recently talked about this. First love started for me. I'm young. I just was always into this. Like romantic thoughts of just like love and what love could be. So I got smitten at the early age of 13.
Ooh.
Yeah, I was like really, again, like one of those girls that I kind of went to school. You see the same people. Your parents have like best friends, and then you go to church and y'all always see each other at church. I'm like, I think that might be my boo right there, you know? So,
right.
We started dating at the age of 13, and I did not stop dating him until I was about 19 or 20. So, wow. Yeah, we dated for a long period of time, and I've had a lot of lessons through that puppy love relationship, right? Wow. So, very thankful for it.
You went from puppies to grown up dogs, I guess.
Yeah, you know, by the time
Lord, Alex.
Like, nah, that ain't for me, Lord. That ain't the one, God. We gonna have to let it go. You know, gotta let it go. So yeah.
Because how much stuff? I mean, Aubrey, do you know any relationships that last from 13 to 20? Not a whole lot, I tell you that. That's out of the ordinary. Yeah, that's sort of an anomaly.
Yeah.
Not necessarily, but I see what you're saying, though. I think that not everybody that starts that young is going to stay together, right? Did he go off to college with you, Ace?
We did not. By the time we decided like what we were doing as far as like life and career was concerned, we were really beginning to part ways. So we were not connected when it came to the college thing or even in the career journey that I took after that. So, but to your point, it's like we were younger, you know what I mean? I think, again, that was like my first lesson, not really realizing, but now knowing, like sometimes you have to realize that you're going to grow, you know, and maybe the person that you were then is not who you're going to become. And so it's that life lesson.
Right. You have any children, Ace?
I do. I have a son that I'm about to put on mute because he's playing Fortnite.
Oh, okay.
Give me one momento, okay?
Okay.
All right.
That Fortnite. These kids love that Fortnite.
Hey, Alex, I thought that was your grands and whatnot.
Oh no, I sent them home.
He said, okay. So
How old is your son, Ace?
He's 13. Oh my gosh. You know, they grow up so fast. I remember holding him like this. Where does the time go? Everything. I tell everyone he is the best thing since sliced bread. Has my all. Yeah.
Wow.
I believe it. He's your heart. Hey, listen, I can picture him probably at 13. Let me take a guess. I picture your son being taller than you right now.
Yeah, he's pretty much there. Thank God for heels, baby. Thank God.
All right.
I still got to have just a little bit, but the heels and the bun save me every time.
Oh,
for sure.
I don't remember when my son, he just hit 6 feet at some point, like in his early teens. And I was like, wow, I had to just all of a sudden just start looking up at him.
Really? How many do you have, Aubrey?
I have 2. I have a daughter and I have a son, and both are taller than me.
Wow, that is something else. Just watching them grow up, I don't know, mind-boggling sometimes. That's how I'm able to really track time. When I look at him, I'm like, wow, like where
right.
Well, I tell you, Ace, Aubrey and I, we both have grown children. My oldest is 31, so
really,
yeah, grandfather. everything, you know.
Yeah. Is it different? Is it different feeling being from grandfather and father? Like, is that
very different because you can send them home.
like the sugar, go back to your parents.
That's right. You can send them home.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, I had my granddaughter here before the interview, and I said, "No, Ace is coming. You got to go because."
Ooh, look at him running off the grandbaby.
Because she's 2, Ace. I wouldn't be able to do an interview. No way.
Yeah, you know, at them 2s, that's when they call them terrible 2s. But I really think that that's when their personality starts to kind of come out.
Yes.
No means no. And so as the adults, we're freaking out. We're like, they're terrible 2s, but they just let me know, like, I'm here now, baby.
Yeah.
Personalities come out.
That's it. You are so right. You are so right, Ace. That's exactly what psychologists say. They are just really coming into their own self because before 2, they're just an extension of us because they pretty much need us for everything, you know?
Yes.
Everything.
Yeah. Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna turn it back over to Alex. He was talking about your beginnings.
Yeah. Yeah, and I just want to say, Ace, as I said, Aubrey and I would always talk as we watched the show, and you were always the epitome of peace to us. You know, if these guys were popping off at the mouth, you know, you would be over somewhere making sure you were centered and, you know, even keeled and out of that kind of drama. And I'm trying to find out, how did you come to that? How did you get to that? Was there some specific event that you said, I got to make sure I make a concerted effort to keep my peace at all times?
Yes. Oh, wow. Thank you for that. Sometimes you never know what's going to be caught like on camera, right? And so anytime someone mentions that, it really like humbles me. And so I thank you for like your comments around it. Right. And yeah, you know, it's one of those things where I feel like you work at daily because life changes daily, right? But we're always, something's coming up, something is, you know, happening in the midst. And so every day is not always a good day, but you have to consistently work at just staying grounded, consistently work at holding on to your peace. One thing that I like to say is peace over everything, baby. So like, even when I get frantic, even when things kind of get under my skin, I have to take that moment to say, okay, where can I find like the peace in this? As far as an event or what really like said, okay, what's going to push you over? I think I've always had like a close, like spiritual life, you know, I've always been like that. After a certain point, the girl that, you know, went to church and was trying to read and like figure out what's going on with this like Holy Ghost thing. And like, I was really peeling that stuff back at a young age. I would say in my adulthood, when I went through my divorce, that was like a big thing for me because it rocked me. I did not get married to get divorced, right? And so here I am. I've been married not for as long as I wanted because we get married to be there forever. I have a son. I'm like, oh my gosh, I've never wanted to be the divorcee with a child. What am I going to do? How am I going to hold on to my peace in that? And so I really feel like that was the beginning of like my spiritual journey. You know, I started to really reflect inward on a lot of things, try to figure out what I wanted to change about myself to be a better person. A lot of times when we go through things, we're doing a lot of finger pointing, but you know, healing starts when you look at yourself. And so that started for me then. And eventually it evolved to me getting into this yoga thing, and it, you know, evolved to me going to different countries like Bali and Mallorca and studying under just wise ones to get a deeper understanding. And, you know, here we are today, steady working at it, you know.
How long did the marriage last?
Together fully, I would say counting our years together and the marriage, right around 5 to 7 years.
Okay.
Right in that 6.5 is when the split started to come.
Right.
So yeah, not as long again as we wanted. So
well, Aubrey and I can both. Yeah, Aubrey and I can both attest to this divorce thing. You know, I'm divorced twice. Relationships, marriage is not for the faint of heart. I'll tell you that. It takes a lot of work. But after the divorce, we know it all takes healing after you go through a divorce and you were channeling your inner self, and it takes a lot. So between the marriage and Ready to Love, how long did it take you to get to the point where you felt like you wanted to date again?
Baby. Okay.
Yeah, take another sip. Take another sip.
Ooh, hey, babe, this may be the moment where you want to switch over to that wine right about now.
Yes, ma'am. No, but but a couple of years definitely went by, right? And then I would say
Hmm.
maybe around like the 3 to 4 year mark, I would go out and want to date and things like that. But between the time frame of my divorce and when I really was ready to get serious with someone, really ready to say like I'm ready to be vulnerable, a decade, 10 years.
Wow.
It's 10 years between the time I got divorced and me being here saying I'm ready for love. So
Wow.
that's why I took the sip, because it's like, woo, that was some years. And the thing about it, you look back and it's like, God, Lee, 10 years. But as I'm going through that, I'm not realizing the time. I'm just really going through the journey. And then you think to yourself, well, let me try to date, here or there. But it's very short lived because one, you're probably not ready. You still have healing to do. Or two, it may just not be the one for you. So before I could really give my all, that amount of time went by.
Wow. And Aubrey always says, she says the dating pool has pee and poop in it. So it's like, so
Honey, you got to know what you're dealing with out here now in these streets, because it's a lot. And I mean, to that point, because it's so much that people are dealing with. And if they
yeah.
haven't healed, then they're bringing that into your space.
Yeah.
You're dealing
So
with it too.
so why Ready to Love? How'd you come to Ready to Love? Were you pursued? Because they pursue a lot of people to come on the show. Some do applications. How did it come about for you?
Not this time around. Ace was not pursued. Ace took the lead. And to
Okay.
me, that's why I really feel like this was something that I was ready to do, because I'm usually a very like private person in a way. I don't need everybody all up in my business type of thing. I'm cool with just being the girl that's sitting out, like chilling. But I felt like this pull in my heart that one was ready for love, and then different things just aligned. That set me up to say, hey girl, you need to apply for this. And when I look, they're right here in DC. So it was almost like I was like, is God just telling me to go for it? Like, yes, you're a private person, you're about to be in front of a whole bunch of cameras, but live. And so I did it, and like within, the next day and a half, they were calling me back. And I guess
Wow.
the rest is history. So when things are kind of meant to align, God, the universe makes a way for it to happen, right?
Yeah. And Aubrey, I'm gonna let you take it after this question here, because Ace, they're kind of saying that DC and Atlanta are similar as far as the numbers between men and women, the availability of dating between men and women. Atlanta is like every one man is like 10 to 17 women or something like that. And they say DC is kind of catching up to that ratio. Do you find that in DC or the DMV area?
Yeah, I would say that. And then, yes, definitely a lot of women, and as compared to men. But then, oh gosh, look, I don't know if we're ready to take it there when we talk about this.
Let's go. Let's go, Ace.
Yeah,
Let's
let's
go.
go. Let's go. Okay, let me
It
let me,
seems
let
a
me break
little
my
too
coat.
early for this. Y'all trying to push me on out there already. No, but I mean, in just the dating environment in general, like when I say like 10 years span for me, the dating environment is different. The expectation of not only men but women too have drastically changed. So if
Mm.
the expectation for a woman is this, that, and the third, but then I come in here and my expectation is this, that, and the third, like where is he gonna go? I think that says a lot about men, but it makes it hard when you really think about like the dating pool and like what we want as opposed to what we get. It's just a lot out there. So yeah. So and that's another reason why I was like, okay, let me try this Ready to Love thing, right? Because I'm thinking to myself, like, they are doing a lot of the work for me. Like, everyone I'm thinking that is in this process is really ready. We're tired of the games. We're tired of trying to figure out, is this person ready for love? I now have people in front of me that are declaring that they are just as ready as I am. And so that's another reason why I more so was ready to step up and kind of take on this journey, right? To kind of help get some of that work done for me because of the dating pool.
Yeah. And Aubrey, before you get started, because we're going to get to the mixer of RTL. But what I did want to say on a more serious note, your castmate and a friend of the show, Keena, her family was
Yes.
very affected by this
Yes.
recent shooting in New York. She actually lost an aunt in that shooting, and our heart goes out to her and her family, and we pray for them. And we've reached out to her. She knows she has us if she needs us. But I
Yeah.
did want to recognize that and let Keenan know our hearts and minds are with her today.
Yeah, sending love and prayers your way, Keena. Was not aware, but now that I am, definitely sending warm vibrations your way to you and
Yeah,
your family at a time like this.
yeah. Anything you want to say, Aubrey?
Absolutely. Yes. Thank you, Alex. I was going to say, so I wanted to give my condolences, and what I say is, as a faith-based person, my prayers go out. I send out my virtual tenderest of hugs to Keena and to every family and every person and every friend that was affected by yesterday's that terrible, terrible act of basically racism and terrorism.
Right,
I'm so sorry to hear that, and I will be speaking with Keena soon. And she has my number. Anyone that wants to reach out to us, certainly feel free to do that.
right.
Um, it's
Yes.
not a whole lot more that I can say, because it gets very it gets
Triggering.
very very
Yeah.
emotional.
Right.
I just want to say emotional.
Emotional. Yeah.
Um, but to you, Ace, I wanted to ask you, so if you could tell us and take our viewers back to, so you've been accepted into the Ready to Love program, and now here you are at the mixer. Take us back with you and share that day with us, please.
Yeah, how ironic that you mentioned the mixer. So, I mean, the mixer day, speaking for me, your heart is pounding. You have no idea what to expect.
Mm-hmm.
And they let you know that, when you have like a little quiet meeting with production a little bit before your first day in front of everyone, and they're like, hey, we know that you believe that you know what you're going to see, but it is a lot. This is a full production. And you're like,
Wow.
okay, sure, whatever. you know, you're a little nervous, but you don't really know just what they mean by that until you pull up. And you pull
Mm,
up, and it's like, wow, like this
mm.
is a lot. Talk about ripping the band-aid off. If you are somewhat of an introvert in any capacity, or it's just a quiet person anyway, it's a big pill to swallow. So, I'm sitting in there like, we're about to do this. And that's why I said this is ironic, to bring it back full circle. The first woman that I connect with was like, what's up, boo? It's Keena.
Oh, okay.
Keena
Okay.
pulls up beside me,
All right.
we looking at each other like, girl, we here, ain't we, girl?
Yeah.
You can tell, like, and at this point, we haven't went inside yet. We haven't seen any of the other gentlemen. Some of the girls are starting to come out a little bit. But yeah, we kind of have that moment with each other, knowing like, okay, we're here, right? Going into the mixer, like once you go in, there's no get prepared for this. When they say let's go, the door is open. You are on film, and it's no redo. So you walk in and you see all of the cameras for the first time, and you just go for it. I just remember turning those two turns like one. Girl, don't slip. And
I'm
then
sure they wouldn't. I'm sure they wouldn't publish that.
I was like, y'all better not get me out here looking terrible. I mean, sometimes they do catch little people flipping on the rug and stuff. I just don't let me be that girl. You look.
Oh Lord.
And then I'm like thinking, Lord, like what this is like this first step of something that I had never thought I would do. So like it's the unknown and my heart is beating off fast. I'm kind of sweating a little bit. I'm thinking, God, my hair is up because it's hot out there.
Yeah.
And we're already hot in the inside, y'all, because we don't know what to expect. And then the weather
Mhm.
was a whole nother degree, like was something else. But looking back on it, it's an experience that again I'm thankful for.
Okay, so
Yeah.
now you met Keena and she was really cool. All
Yes.
right, now who's the first man that you see there that really catches your eye?
Yeah, I would say the first gentleman I connected with is Tori. Me and him
Okay.
had a nice vibe, good conversation. We did like our doo-wop two-step a little bit.
Well,
The
you
other
guys were wait a minute, hold on. You guys were dancing?
we did. It's so much that goes unseen, but yeah, we're there for so long of a day. You know, 10 a.m. to 12 o'clock, over past 12 o'clock, at night the next
Wow.
day.
Yeah.
So it was
Wow.
a very long day. So what you see in those 60 minutes is just a very small snippet of what all of these different individuals are experiencing. So it's a lot that goes like unseen. So yeah, I think you catch a little bit of it in the background of one of the things, but yeah, we back there like cutting the rug and
All
singing stuff
right.
that stood out. Yeah.
Wow.
Did he ask you at that time? Did he ask you about your kidney?
Oh my God, there I go. There I go. Oddly enough, I didn't hear about like the kidney stuff until like I was in a deliberation, and the girl was like, "He has really been talking about kidneys a lot." And I was like, "What is this kidney talk?" So by the time me and him was talking about kidneys, it was because I was like, "You out here talking about kidney story?" He was like, "Let me tell you what I mean by it." I'm like,
Oh, he gave us a very detailed explanation here when he interviewed with us. Oh my Lord.
Yeah.
he has his reasons. So I just say, you know what, Tori, do you,
and,
Tori?
and to Tori's credit, other than rearranging organs, he's a great dude. He's a
He
great dude.
is. I
He
think.
is. Absolutely.
Yep, one of like my best friends coming out of this journey. So a lot of times you don't know why you entered in or begin a journey, but I'm thankful for a lot of the good people that I was able to connect with, and he is definitely one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, one thing I wanted to talk to you about, I said I wanted to be sure to ask you this question because I don't recall, and maybe, maybe it was like an earlier episode and now I've forgotten it, but I don't recall you going out on a date at all with Paul. But did you go out on a date with Paul or did I miss that?
You didn't miss it. Those are just one of the moments that just goes unseen. And the reason why I kind of make like that kind of point with it is because I will say of all of my dates, that is one that I was very nervous about it being shown, but I
Mm-hmm.
thought it was needed to be shown.
Yeah.
Because during that date with Paul, and we've had a couple, but our one-on-one date that we had, we really peeled back layers that I think the audience wanted to see. We learned more about his, upbringing, my upbringing, what motivates us, and I
Oh,
think it just shows
wow.
different sides of the both of us. And I would have loved for people to be able to just see that side and how we connect in that way.
Oh wow, that's
Yeah.
amazing because I never saw any of that. And
No.
one of our viewers was saying that they showed you when you talked with Paul first, um, which I didn't care for the way he talked to you. And I think that they're talking about the mixer. It sounds like, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So can you
Yeah.
kind of go back and touch on that a little bit? The conversation he had with you about your divorce and whatnot. It seemed like
Yeah.
it was a little aggressive, a little assertive.
It was like two folds to it because like yes, it was like assertive. It didn't come off as strong as I would say it showed because some of it was like showing you parts of this, like even my body turn when I look at him in that way wasn't in reaction to what you heard him say, it was in reaction to something else. So some of
Okay.
that is a little choppy, but yes,
Mm-hmm.
still real. So there were moments where I was like, hold on now, I am
Mhm.
peace and namaste. But
Yeah.
I also require a level of respect when you are going to like talk to me or say anything. And I will say this, I didn't give him an opportunity to really communicate what he was trying to get. So before he could get there, I was like, hold on, Lord, what you trying to say now, Theo?
well, well,
And
well,
then,
well.
Hold on. What was his reaction when you said that, Ace?
yeah, and that's what I think this is the part that we as an audience, for speaking for the outsiders, would want to see, right? What happens? You immediately get the understanding. And that's why, like, honestly, Paul is one of the coolest and one of my closest friends out of everyone, but you would never know that looking
Right.
at the parts that you see, because we immediately have a conversation there, and then we go off into, like, you know, right in front of the fire, and we sitting down talking. I was like, you know what? Paul is okay with me, you know, but you don't see the growth. You know what I mean? Dating is totally like that. Like sometimes you say something, hear something, but it's about the evolution of getting to know one another. And so I wish that could see that evolution a little bit more, and so they could have more of a real, true, open perspective of everyone.
But Ace, what were your thoughts about, because Paul became famous for this when he came in? My name is PO, post office, because I deliver. You know, with the sexual connotations. What was your thoughts with that comment? And you know, that kind of made him infamous from the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so maybe I'm like wet behind the ears, because I mean, I won't. When he said he delivered, I was just like, oh, okay, that's a nice line. Like, I didn't take it, I think, as deep as everyone else was taking it. Like, even as you listen to it now, I'm like, oh, I guess it could go that way too, huh? Like, but I also think that because when you know more about a person, then you have more to kind of go off of. So yeah, when he first said that first night, you saw all of our reaction, like, who is this guy? But then we get to like know the guy. And I speak like even for myself, right? Like you see a lot of like my spirituality and like how I feel about yoga, but then that's all you see. So it's like, does she even have a personality? Who knows, you know? But they were able to see bits and pieces of me that unfortunately just wasn't caught on camera. So they have more of a perspective of who Ace is, right? And so same thing for Paul.
Okay.
Well, so now we come to the part where we have to ask you about, so how did your connection with Laverne start? Where did that begin? Because he's a very, very interesting personality out of this season, out of the men.
Indeed. I can't argue you there. He is. I would say our connection started because you see, I didn't mention him at the mansion,
Right.
at the brunch, and it was towards the end of the brunch. We kind of like talked a little bit in the beginning of the brunch. We parted ways, and kind of made our other connections. But I don't know. Towards the end of the brunch, we kind of came back together. And we sat down and we were kind of like chopping it up a little bit. And I was like, just a little bit more to this Laverne guy,
Right.
So quickly, So that was kind of where I would say our interest began and where I kind of took notice of Laverne.
Okay. And what were the type of traits and characteristics that he exuded that first got your interest during that brunch?
I liked his humor. I like to laugh, as I come off as like probably quiet, but I like to giggle and like.
You want to get your kiki on too, right?
Hello, so I'm like, okay, ha ha ha, you got a little jokey joke, so that was nice. But also like he would really hear me out. Like he would ask me a question about like how I felt about this, or what are my thoughts on this, and I can kind of go off on tangents. You know what I mean? That's why one of my things is I need a man that is grounded, right? Because I'll go off like a little butterfly, and like he would really hold that space, let me explain it and take it in. You know what I mean? And so I gave him a lot of like kudos for that, and that really allowed me to see him differently than I would say most.
Okay. Yeah, because you're right about that. I definitely, as a woman, I agree with you. A lot of men love to talk about themselves, love to talk about what they've done, what they're doing, who they are.
Mhm.
And when it comes to the part where they're actually listening, they fall down on that part.
Right, right.
Mm,
Yep,
yeah.
yep. And so
Oh,
that balance is needed. And so we see a lot of his feedback, but I would say just as much feedback as he would give for me, he would listen as well. And I was appreciative of that.
Okay.
hey,
Yeah.
Okay.
Aubrey, are you going to approach the curveball at this point, or can I ask her about that, or you still have a
No,
couple other
go
questions?
ahead. No, go ahead and
Yeah.
jump in with the curveball. That's a good segue. Go ahead.
Yeah, the curveball, Cornelius, aka Cornbread, he was one of the curveballs, along with Carmen, they came in with a blast, so and you had a blind date with Cornbread, and he was really enamored with you. Not sure if you felt the same way. What were your thoughts on the date with Cornbread, and what were your feelings afterwards?
Okay, I remember, yes, when they came in, they're coming with the daddies. Yes,
Yeah.
they
Yeah, the baddies. I love that.
I was excited. Wow. Okay. So Cornelius, I thought and still think very highly of Cornelius. I really enjoyed our date, and this is again where things kind of come in because you really don't see my feedback of Cornelius when we get back. Like you see me make a noise like, but again, that wasn't in context to him. You know what I mean? That was me. Of course, I guess you can see I'm a little animated. I make noises to like a lot of different stuff. So I was like, no, I really wanted my feedback on him to like come out. So in that vote, my vote was Laverne, Tori, and Cornelius to stay. And so he was in my top three at that point for that vote. I enjoyed his outlook on life. I enjoyed his upbeat personality, but then I enjoyed the fact that he took mental health and things of that nature, things along those lines, very seriously as well. So I thought he was a very cool, upstanding guy.
Was there another date we didn't see, or that was just it with Cornelius?
No, well, I think you did see a date. That was our only one-on-one date.
Okay.
The only other connection that we had was like at this the art date, that which was like a group date, and I really didn't talk to him much there because I just had my one-on-one date, and so he was meeting Dakia and Joy.
Mhm.
So that was our only additional date that we had together.
Yeah, and I think at that group date, I'm not sure if it was this occurrence or another one, but there was a group date where you kind of everybody was mingling at first, and then you kind of went off
Oh
somewhere
yeah.
to yourself, and we was like, okay, Ace checking out. We was like, is she disconnecting? Yeah.
Oh my. Oh my.
I'm like, so I'm asking you, Ace, what made you just walk off and have your Zen moment or whatever you were doing by yourself?
Look,
Mm-hmm.
so in full disclaimer, I really did not do it in the way that it comes
The way.
across.
Okay.
But if I had of, I own it. And so there was multiple things that was taking place in that date. First thing that I was noticing was that this wasn't as organic as I was hoping it would be. I like to kind of connect with people freely. Like if I'm ready to walk up and talk to you, I'm going to walk up and talk to you. I also feel, and I've said this before, that men are hunters. So you sit back and you see what that man is going to hunt.
Mm-hmm.
So when I see that people are telling people where you should go and who you should talk, I'm like, that's boring to me. Because now I really can't, like, are you doing this because you're being asked to come over here? Are you coming over here because you want to talk to me? To me, it's a difference. Intent matters. So I'm seeing all of this take place, and I'm like, this is boring. But then the other thing that I'm seeing is that it looks and appears that, everyone is having their connections. I was told that another person from the cast was supposed to come to that date and they didn't show up. And I go to production and I'm like, hey, y'all, I've been here for about 3 hours. This has been fun.
Okay.
I'm ready to go, So they're like, Lord, Ace, don't go yet, And I was like, all right. I said, well, can I go get me another drink and then I'll think about staying? They're
Okay.
like, yeah, girl, go ahead. So I go to get me another drink. And I noticed that when the waitresses, like the bartender hands me the drink, her hand's shaking all fast and stuff. I'm like, what is wrong with me? So I turn around and look back, and the camera, they have followed me to the bar. I'm thinking I'm off set because I have to leave the set to go to the bar. But they following me like I'm leaving upset and stuff. I was like, oh my Lord. So again, I'm learning just like where I'm at this point. I'm learning that this really is reality TV. So
okay.
it kind of appears like I'm just like walking off, and I'm thinking that I'm walking off set to go get me a drink and think, do I really want to stay here? Because I just told them I'm ready to go. Just got, filmed the way that it was filmed. So yeah.
Right.
Goodness.
Yeah.
So
What?
I'm
Go
sorry,
ahead.
Orby. Go ahead, Orby.
No, I was just going to ask. Okay, so I think that was Clifton that came to check on you basically at that point in time, right?
Right. And so I'm looking at Clifton like, thank you for checking on me, but I'm okay. Which that was, if you kind of look at me, my face is a little perplexed because when I come back, I'm like, I don't know if I should be. Y'all got me talking too much. But when I come back, and he's like, yeah. When I come back, I'm like, why is the camera's like right here with me? Oh no, Ace, we didn't want it to come off like that. Our apologies. So then when he asked me that question, like, are you okay? I'm like, yes, I'm fine. Like I have, no worries. I appreciate you asking me that. But I'm also thinking, like, why, again, are you coming over here asking me those questions? Why are they sending you to ask me those questions unless you really want to show yourself following me? So sometimes you just got to wash your hands and let things be. It's all good.
So you think they intentionally sent him? You think they intentionally sent him, Ace, over there to talk to you? To check on you?
Not in a negative way, but yeah, like, won't you go over there and check on Ace and make sure she's okay? So yeah, I appreciate it. I'm good.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, I was going to ask you. So that brings me to another thought. So I'm not sure if we saw this or if you had one, but did you have any dates with Clifton early on?
No. It's kind of going back to the brunch. At the brunch, my interest, I learned more about Laverne, but also at the brunch, I was able to connect with guys and kind of break them off of my list. And so from the brunch, Clifton was never on my list.
Okay.
Well, I gotta ask you this, Ace, because as we got to love you throughout the season, we saw how peaceful you are, how beautiful you are, obviously, and how you're very much in tune with your inner self. But you are not a twerker. So what?
Oh yes, tell us about that twerking, Ace. Was that like a yoga? Was that like a yoga twerk?
That twerk hurt me. Okay, when I said, did they chop and screw? I said to myself, if I dance like that in real life and my friends let me be out here like that, I am mad at all my friends.
Oh Lord!
Never seen my body move like that, but again, that's what. Just like I had to eat them showing me walk off to the bar, and that I had to eat them showing what I mean. It almost looked like I can't.
I was like, okay, is Ace behind moving or is that her back moving? Which one is it? Y'all couldn't tell.
Wait a minute, Mr. Alex.
Then they got Laverne on there talking about go low. And I said, like this woman right here don't know how to grind doing something. But I'm gonna eat it. Y'all will see my dance moves in real life one day, Lord.
Okay.
I just gotta eat it because that girl won't move, honey. That girl won't move.
But you know what, Ace? We were like, she's having a good time, and we could appreciate you having a good time. That's what we were thinking about. But we was like,
look, that's why I say if that was me having a good time, my friends been letting me do that all my life and been hyping me up because I just knew I could dance, honey. I said they got me.
They got you on that one. Oh my goodness.
I had to eat it, honey. I like that was one scene I wanted to fast forward. Like that ain't let me. But you know you got to eat it.
But you know it lives in infamy. You know?
There it goes. There it goes. Just gotta take it and roll, baby.
Yeah, that's it. Take it and roll with it, guys. I wanna, Ace. I wanna kind of go back to what do they call it? I guess when the ladies meet and they're having a meeting at the end for to talk about who's going to be eliminated. I forget what that's called. Is that an elimination meeting
like
or
the wine bar?
The wine bar. Okay, so at the wine bar. So at the wine bar, when there was a discussion the week that they eventually let Laverne know that he was, being released. What was the conversation kind of like in the room with the ladies about that when they were trying to decide who to let leave?
Yeah, it was a little, I would say, not all over the place, but there were a few men that were at the bottom. And a lot of times when we're someone's preparing to go, we don't know who's leaving. So for me, it was a toss up between two of the gentlemen. I was hoping that it wasn't Laverne because, again, Laverne was my top connection. But leaving there, it was hard to say. What I will say is that it did seem as though a lot of the comments around Laverne were like pointed. Now, I'm going to say pointed because, of course, every time you say my top connect name, I'm listening, right? So I'm like, wait a minute, that's like the third person that just said something about him now. Wait, what's going on? So I, am taking notice to the feedback that is coming out, but I'm gonna tell you, as they were giving the feedback, it was coming and rolling off. I guess, an old school Ready to Love fan. So yes. I was really under this, I guess, false belief that if someone is truly my top connect, and I put you through multiple dates and multiple connections, that like this is my top connect, then they can't be,
eliminated basically.
Right.
Okay.
Now, if I had have looked at the DC episodes season prior to, then I would have known that. But I had found out that I was on this season, and so I was scared to look at the DC season because I didn't want to see what they was going through.
Right. I feel you.
Yeah, I was already seeing so much like on social media about the DC season. I just I'm not gonna look at the show, But if I had have looked at the show, then I would have seen that would have been a potential thing for them to let go of someone's top connect. I did not. So
right. Yeah. As we kind of saw last season, like you mentioned, the DC season, we saw that with Camille and Cornelius.
Right.
We saw him eliminated, and then of course she self-eliminated right after that.
Yep. So if I had seen that, then I would say, more aware that your top connect is in just as much danger. But I don't know, from previous seasons, when someone had like their top connect, I always felt like that person was safe, so to speak, like that, because that person, saying that that's the one so what am I going to be here for if my main connect is gone, and I'm only giving you a 2 or 3 because you're asking me for a 2 or 3, but my main connect is this person.
Yeah. Right. So after that, so there was no one that you felt that there was even a strong enough interest in that you would continue on. So is that why you went ahead and decided to self-eliminate?
Absolutely. Because for me at that point, it's like if I stay, and I think I said this before, I'm only breaking up other people's potential connections. It's almost like I'm staying there to see if I can kind of go in and mess someone else's stuff up, because if I really was connected or cared, then they would have already been one of my people, right? And I'm not here to break up. I feel like every person is for them, you know what I mean? So let them continue to connect and not be someone who is kind of standing in the way of that. So yeah.
Well, let me ask you this.
Oh, well,
I'm sorry, Aubrey.
hold on,
Okay.
Alex.
All right.
I'm really trying to thank you. I'm really trying to understand something. So you're saying something, and I feel you at the heart of at my very core and heart. I feel what you're saying, but something that I think we as viewers is always confusing for us. Okay, so you guys are on an entire dating show, and I know some time passes, and maybe like let's say with you and Laverne, or let's say maybe with Joy and Clifton, there starts to be a closeness that's developed, but at the same time you guys are still continuously going on dates, correct, with each other, with other people?
Yeah, I've had like a few towards this point. It's more group dates, but my most majority of my one-on-one dates is with Laverne because he's my top connect. But you all don't get to see like a lot of the dates that him and I went on. They're just not a part of the show.
Mm.
Right, right.
So
But another thing, but okay, but correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm just going by what I've seen other castmates, your castmates, say, and from other seasons too, that you guys at some point you don't get to really decide who you go on the dates with. Is that not true for everybody?
it is. But I will say that a lot of times for me, if I continue to say like this is my connection, you do have a few dates with people who are not your connections, but for the most part, I also had dates with the person I'm saying this is my top connect, this is my top connect. So no, you're not necessarily picking your dates, but hopefully, if it all works out for everyone, eventually you are having more dates with those that you're saying are the ones you're connecting with.
Mm.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
Wow.
Alex. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Alex.
and we spoke about Tori earlier, how we all think very highly of him. You think very highly of Tori as well. And but when he sat down with you, apparently he had an interest in you and he wanted you to stay, but you self-eliminated sitting across from Tori, and he just seemed like he was so heartbroken because he just went through his thing with Sabrina and all that kind of stuff. And we wanted you to stay for Tori. We were kind of rooting for him, but you self-eliminated. And what were your thoughts sitting there across from him as you were self-eliminating?
So a few things. Okay. Um, you're calling me out now, Alex.
sorry, sorry.
Oh my God, I gotta get it out before I start. No, that was a rough conversation because again, like Tori is one of my closest friends throughout this entire journey, right? But this journey is several things. One, it's about love. It's about really taking the time to connect with someone, and at that time, I really felt like what me and Laverne was building was something that was real, right? Like something that was going to grow, and I know what it feels like to be the person that someone's not being totally honest with. Like, can you imagine staying with someone and playing with someone's emotions when you know, like, your interest lies somewhere else? I understand that this is a game, but I wasn't willing to play a game with people's feelings or emotions because I didn't want anyone to play those type of feelings with my or type of games with my emotions, right? So I
Right.
felt like if I were to sit there with Tori at that time and say like, "Hey, I'm going to stay for you and see where this goes," it's also not me being 100% authentic with where I am at because of how much my connection was growing with Laverne at the time. And that's a pill that I was willing to swallow. I'd rather be honest now than to hurt people in the future. And so that was
Yeah.
the decision I made there.
Yeah, and even though you kind of rejected Tory, we kind of commended you for that because speculation had it, allegedly some people were just trying to hang on to connections to get to the end. And by you saying, "Listen, my top connection's gone, I'm out of here," even though Tory was interested, we commend you for that. Aubrey, do you have a question, Aubrey?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here. I'm getting my thoughts together. But yes, I definitely have a question. So I guess we'll start with this. So at the point where now Laverne has left and now you have self-eliminated, was there a big gap? Was it like the same week or the next week when this happened where you self-eliminated after Laverne was eliminated?
Oh, great question. So no, once I got feedback or wind, so Laverne calls me that evening and he's like, Ace, it's me. I'm the one that's.
Okay.
I'm like, what? You playing? I was hoping that it wasn't. But that night I reach out to production and say, hey, my top connection is gone.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pulling myself from the Ready to Love journey. So yeah, I openly made that decision the same night that Laverne was eliminated.
Oh, okay. That's a new piece of news, guys. You heard it
Yeah.
here first, here on Actually Aubrey. Okay,
Right.
so now you're both eliminated. You self-eliminated. He was eliminated. What happens with that journey and that romance with Laverne?
Good question. So it continues for a little while, probably, well, I say a little while, but yeah, for at least 7, maybe close to 2 months, 7 to 8 weeks,
Oh.
something like
All
that.
right.
So yeah, we really, maybe I'm giving it a little bit more life because I would say that time frame of like filming and all of that, it kind of runs together so fast. But we dated for a couple of weeks afterwards. I mean, when I say I did towards the end, I ghosted.
Oh, you're not supposed to be reading those now. Okay.
Oh boy.
Don't read the chat. Don't read the chat. That's the first rule.
Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, so we dated like, and I mean, like we really went out to see like where this is gonna possibly go. Like I met a lot of his friends, talked to a lot of his family members, vice versa. Like we really gave it a go. What I would say is for me, once I realized like this isn't where I need to be, or maybe this isn't best, or we kind of want different things. I am an advocate of not wasting anyone's time and someone not wasting my time. And it was again one of those things where maybe we don't want the same things, but I can just kind of like keep it going to see. And I could see where a lot of people may wanted to do that because I could have been that couple that came back and sat on the couch because I did leave because he left. But that wasn't my story. You know what I mean? If it's not working,
Right.
then it's not working. So yeah, that was something like after a while, I would say by the end of November, if not a little bit before. Yeah, we were.
Okay, so
So
so so we couldn't even make it to get to the Christmas gift from Laverne because I know he was gonna be very generous.
Oh my God! Yes, a lot of people say some people would have tried to stay for that, but I can't do it, Lord. I can't do it.
you couldn't
And
do it?
I know a lot of people heard about, just what he gave me during filming of the ex's date and like just how big that gift was. And
No, wait a minute. Talk to us, girl.
what?
Don't have me saying, oh my God.
I mean, it's so funny. I cannot. Yes. I'm sorry. What part don't you know?
What gift did you
I
give
don't know.
with
I
the
don't know
exes
what you
there?
get. Yeah, I didn't get it. I didn't hear about that.
Um, yeah. So during the ex's date, um, yeah, Laverne gifted me with a diamond bracelet.
Oh wow.
It's very
See?
sweet.
Very
Very
generous
sweet.
man.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, I had not heard that. I don't know if you told that on another interview or if that was talked about at the reunion, but I don't recall that.
Yeah, maybe it was on a different interview or something, but yeah. So yeah.
And your ex was very receptive, very good looking guy, by the way. The
Thank
ex. Yeah, he's a good looking
Okay,
dude.
you. He's
but
cool. Very
we're
cool.
moving on now. We're gonna move on to
Yeah.
Tyrone.
Well,
Let's
yeah,
talk to us
that's
about Tyrone a little bit, just a little bit,
yeah,
whatever you're willing to share. Because
yeah.
all I know is every time I'm watching a podcast and Tyrone is podcasting, I see, hey there.
Yeah, all of a sudden, Ace, you decide to turn into Erica Badu. So you turned into Erica Badu on us
I
and
know that's
decided
right.
to call
Oh my
Tyrone. So
I don't know. I don't even know if there's like fully words to like explain that. Tyrone is just beyond special to me. I think the world of him, and I don't know. A lot of times you feel like you start a journey and you think like you started because your person is here, but I fully believe that this journey was meant to take place to guide and lead me to him. So. We met a little bit after everything kind of came to a close on premiere night. A lot of people know that. I really look forward to kind of telling everyone about that meeting, like about the way that he approached me, the way that I saw him, the way that it's like I don't know, it's just
The
a
energy.
lot to like I don't even know how to put it in words, but
Okay, calm down, Alex. Let her tell us.
So, but yeah, like, so ever since the premiere, we've been dating and like really taking the time to get to know each other. But he is just, he is the G that I've told everyone that I was looking for. So thankful for
Yeah, and
our.
Ace, from the DC edition, Tyrone seemed to be a very intentional man. He's a very intentional
Yes.
type individual because he
Yes.
had a connection with Shiloh, and when that connection was over, he's like, okay, peace. He's like, I'm not going to play these games.
Right.
Very intentional man.
Yes.
So I got that impression of him. Real cool guy. He can be fun and laugh and joke, but also very, very intentional. So that's what we got from him as viewers.
And something else that we got from him as viewers, well, those of us actually that follow him outside of his journey of Ready to Love, was that Tyrone is very serious about mental health. And that's something that you just already mentioned with Cornelius. You are very intentional about that. Can you speak on that just a little bit?
Yes, and see, I'm glad you brought that up too, Aubrey. And it's like you just never know how things are gonna align. He is very big in mental health, and that is something that's important for me because I'm just big on mindfulness and meditation. And truly, when you take the two and align them, there's a lot of closeness there, right? When I met him that night in premiere night, I didn't know how like important mental health was to him. This is things that we continue to start to learn about each other as our connection like grew, but that even the more made the connection strong and more of an understanding because we do have a lot of similar passions that I'm thankful that we can kind of connect and talk on and grow with. Yeah.
Awesome.
Wow,
Very
yeah.
awesome.
Wow.
Well, Alex,
Well,
are you ready to go ahead. Go ahead.
well, I want to kind of go back real quick, Ace, to the reunion. Just a snippet from the reunion, and the whole Laverne alleged conspiracy to get him thrown off the show, because that was a big thing at the reunion. He told Precious called you, and this all kind of stuff went on. So if you want to get into it at all, how did that whole thing transpire? Was it misconstrued by Laverne or Precious? Because she went to 1,000, real quick. So what are your thoughts on that you can tell us or comfortable telling us?
Yeah, it was so much that transpired. I really think for me, when I look at it, they were saying the same thing in different ways. If you just really like look at it, it's just like they're trying to raise different points. What I can give you is my truth, and I say it, there at the reunion, which is, me and Precious having a very, girl to girl conversation. And she said, hey, Carmen is calling, Sabrina and Tina and trying to break up the couples, I didn't think it was that huge of a secret, it's just like, okay, hey, Tyrone.
Oh, Lord, he's here. He's
Rule
here.
number one, don't read the chat. But yes, your love is here. Your love has arrived. He's been here the whole time. I saw him lurking.
Yeah, Lord have mercy.
What was I saying?
I love it. I love it.
Okay. Yeah. So we were talking about the situation. Yeah. So they had called and said all of that. I don't know. I can tell you guys like a lot about how I felt about that. I was kind of shocked that they were trying to break up, the couples. Isn't that what we're here for? You know what I mean? Didn't we come here to connect? So as long as everyone is worried about or, feeding their own connections, everything is going to play out as it should, right? So when she told me that, I was really thankful that she put it out there because I'm like, man, are we really playing these? I know this is a game, but are we playing these type of games,
Right.
So I tell him, and then he finds out that he is getting eliminated, and he says what he says to Sabrina. Now I do feel like that's a little cut up. I can't really get into it because I know their emotions were high. Both of them took that conversation totally two different ways. But from what I've gathered, he was trying to tell her what I told him, which is, you guys, like, y'all succeeded. Like, I heard y'all was trying to get me going,
Right.
It's so unfortunate that their conversation had to go that way. I think that Precious felt as though Laverne was saying that Sabrina was the one but that was never, I think, the case, and I don't think that was the message that he was trying to put out there. The message was, though, that this was a conversation and this led to this all happening in this way, type of thing. So yeah.
And he decided he was going out with a bang, and he did.
Lord have mercy. I didn't even know how he took me by surprise. Whoa. Yes, indeed.
Did you know before? Because I know you guys don't. At least my understanding is you guys don't see, what is taped if you're not in that actual scene. So did you know that Laverne went out with such a big hurrah, Ace?
So yes and no. Like, I didn't know to to what degree it all happened. But when I say we were at this point, we're dating, we're truly dating. So when he leaves, like next day, I'm talking to him, like with him, like, what happened, what's going on? And he's like, I feel like, Sabrina took it this way, but you know me, Ace, and I didn't cuss at her. I didn't raise my voice. I was just trying to be direct. I'm like, are you sure? So we kind of talk about that a bit. And then I will say, like, maybe a day or two, maybe 3 later, I'm sitting there talking to Laverne, and, him and Sabrina end up having a conversation. And I hear them both, kind of apologize to each other. They both admit like how they, took it, XYZ, but it was good to hear them even come together in that regard.
Right.
And just take ownership, for how they made each other feel in that moment.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And I loved your outfit, Ace, at the reunion, because I said to Aubrey, I said,
yes,
you would not expect anything else from Ace, with the sparkling and the gems,
the jewels,
and all this the jewels and the gems. I said, that's Ace to a T. So yeah.
Thank you. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I love sometimes like eclectic or just like different type of like clothes. And I was a little nervous. Like, that dress was like, girl, just wear it, just do it. And then I was so nervous. But I was like, if there is any time you're gonna slide something on like that, let it be for a reunion, honey. So I just said, I'm gonna go for it. I was nervous, but I just, again, took the leap. You gotta live, right? So thank you so much for that. I appreciate that.
You Ace, you were definitely, as you said on the empowerment meeting, you were definitely one of those bad baddies yourself. She's a brick.
Ow.
Oh, look,
No. Oh, Tyrone, get her, Tyrone.
Tyrone, where are you? Calling, paging Tyrone. Tyrone to the front desk.
And Ace, let me ask you, Ace, how did you respond with these, like, when you break out into song? How did that start? Oh my God, stuff like that.
So, one of my friends mentioned this to me, like one of my corporate colleagues. He was like, I think that you do that because you like love to sing. I never noticed that I did it so much until like years ago. It's like, I don't know, I'm a walking jukebox. Some people have like gifts and talents and they be like, oh, I can do this with my eye or I can do this with my hand. I just know songs. Like songs are always like going, and so like when I'm talking to someone, I'll just like bust out into a song based off of what's going on, and I think that's just like one of my things. And then I think it's my way to get to sing because I love song, you know, but I don't pick up the mic and go in, so it's like fun to me. It's just
And
a
we love
thing.
it. We love it. You know.
Thank
Is
Yeah,
you.
your
we love it.
is your background at some point in time, maybe through high school, college, or even in the church, some singing? Because you sing, I think you sing rather well.
Oh, thank you, Miss Aubrey. I appreciate that. Yeah, like I really used to love it. So when I was like in like church all the time, I was that girl that led praise and worship. I was really big into that.
All
Then I
right.
was really big in choir when I was like in middle school and high school and college. So yeah, it's always been just something that was just there. Yeah.
Yeah. And Ace, we're gonna be very respectful of your time. We don't want to
But
get
before
hurt
we
by
let her
Tyrone.
go, right, Alex. But before we do that, you were going to ask her about her current about her business dealings and
Yes,
things that she wants to promote.
absolutely. I don't want to hold it too long because Tyrone's out there, and I don't want to run into him in the street. I might get hurt. So, just, but but I mean, we do want to ask you because we're very interested, as I said earlier, in you guys as people. So, what are your endeavors where we can support you on things that you're doing, maybe events that you're having that we can help promote or even attend? Because we love to, promote, black businesses, black people doing positive, great things, and obviously you're a very positive person.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And thanks for having this platform for us to share the things, right? I know like a lot of
Absolutely.
people saw on there like philanthropists and like where does that come from? But I kind of started my work in corporate philanthropy years and years ago, right? And I learned a lot from that to the point where Black Wellness VA was built, which is a nonprofit that's founded for our community. We are so impacted by the health gap that infects us. So not just mentally, but just our basic needs being taken care of, and then the financial gap that impacts us. Like for every 50,000 that our household bring in, other nationalities bring in roughly 75% more in a
Mm,
totality. We need to close that gap. And so what
yeah,
Black Wellness does, we, offer training courses, we offer events to help bridge that and promote wellness. If you want
yeah,
to know about like our upcoming events, one of them is like this retreat for our women, connecting our purpose and our passion. That's going to be coming up in a couple of months. And then we also have like a 5K to get our bodies moving and keep us healthy.
mm,
Just follow
Ooh.
blackwellnessva.org. Again, it's a nonprofit and it's just there to just offer help and support to the community. And we will continue to update that website with our upcoming events and things of that nature.
Can you say it one more time and I'll put it in the chat and then I'll also get the links from you and put it in this video in the description. Could you repeat that one more time for me, Ace?
Absolutely. It's Black Wellness,
Mm-hmm.
blackwellnessva.org.
Okay.
Yeah.
and
Thank you.
Ace, I want you to make a promise to us when you and Tyrone totally come out with you guys' situation and love story. Please come back and share that with us.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because we didn't want to push you. There's things you said you guys haven't discussed or whatever, and Tyrone's here making sure you don't talk too much. So-
I just adore him for even being here to support. It means so much. But absolutely, we would love to do that. So thank you. Thank you for the
yes,
opportunity.
yeah, and we're gonna respect
Thank
your time and not hold you too long. Aubrey, anything closing you want to ask Ace about?
No, I think that pretty much sums it up. I mean, it sounds to me like, Ace, if and you tell me, you conclude with in your words, but it sounds to me like you went on a show, a reality show that is, to find love, and you met a guy, you had a strong connection, and then things kind of moved along, and then you found an even stronger connection. It's now you tell us in your words.
Yeah, in my words, I feel like when God leads you down a journey, like just take each step. When things doesn't seem like it's working out, it's because something greater is waiting for you. So,
Mm,
if you're ever feeling like you're ready to begin a new journey, don't doubt yourself. even if you don't know what's to come, just take the leap, go for it. We're here to live and experience this beautiful thing called life.
Yeah.
So I'm thankful for the journey, and I'm looking forward to all the things that's going to continue to unravel and happen with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're thankful for you for coming on to our
Thank you
podcast and
so
gracing our
much.
podcast. Because we know, listen, I know, Ace, that you guys sort of become overnight celebrities, if you will. I don't know if that's the
Hmm.
appropriate term, but your DMs get flooded. I know the DMs were getting flooded. And the fact that you responded, to my DMs, in a respectful way. I was being as respectful as I possibly could anyway. And but I appreciate it.
Yes,
I really do.
absolutely. Thank you both again for this platform, for your time, and for allowing us to show you all that, we're humans too. You know what I mean? And this is just a part of our story. And it's wonderful to connect with everyone. So thank you, Alex. Thank you,
Thank you.
Aubrey. For your
Thank you as well. You're very
Thank you
welcome.
so much. Thank you so much. I'm going to go ahead and drop you down while we do our closing remarks and reminders for our other podcasts. But thank you so much. And you're welcome to come back anytime you have something you want to share, whether it's to talk. In fact, I would like to invite you back to come back and just talk, just to do a show, not anything to do with Ready to Love, nothing to do with Tyrone. Sorry, Tyrone. But just to talk about, no, seriously, to talk about your nonprofit, because I did hear some of your intro during the women empowerment that Keena put together for you ladies, and I was very intrigued by it. Okay,
wonderful. I would love to do that. Thank you so much. Just consider it done. We'll get it going.
thank thank you, thank you.
Thank
All right, I'll drop you down now.
thank
All right.
you. Bye bye.
Bye now.
Oh my goodness. Wasn't that all you thought it would be,
She
Aubrey?
is wonderful. I couldn't have asked for anything more. I mean, she's just as lovely in person. I mean, on the screen, talking to us. And in fact, something I really discovered about her is that she's far more talkative and expressive than we saw on the show.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And she made me put on my good sweater. So, so,
Well, now that's always important. That is,
so
we're going to give you a round of applause for that. We're going to give you a round of applause.
there's
But
something
no,
special about
seriously,
Ace.
I
Yeah.
mean, she's very special. She's very special. And I love the integrity that she showed throughout her journey, because, um, we as viewers, we kind of wonder, do some of the cast members stay to see if they can find another connection, or are they staying to be there till the end? We're not really sure. We're not really
Right.
sure.
Right.
And I'm going to say this, I don't knock anybody that stays, because they're maybe looking to see if there is another connection, because just because you connect with someone initially doesn't mean that's going to be your person. As it turned out for Ace, that wasn't necessarily her person.
Again, it's not surprising her and Tyrone connected because they are two very intentional people. Once Ace knew that her connection was not there, other than Laverne, she said, "Okay, I'm not going to continue to do this." And we saw Tyrone do the same thing in the DC edition. So they're two very intentional people, and it's not surprising that they would end up together. Not at all.
Not at all. Not at all. Um, So I want to, as we sum this up, do you think we still should do our summary video of this season? Because there's been a lot after the show that you and I've talked about.
Mhm.
Jeremy, also one of our co-hosts, have talked about. So do you think you think we should do a wrap up video like we did for last season?
I think we should. I mean, this season was just as interesting as DC, if not more so. So I think we should do it. And there's a lot to unpack. We saw a lot, we've learned a lot, and it'll be an interesting discussion to have.
Awesome, awesome. And I see our family out in our chat family is talking about, definitely talk. Oh, and wait a minute, Ace, you're there. Ace, can I bring you back up?
Where is she? Is she still
Hold
here?
on, she's still here. Ace, is it okay if I bring you back up? Nod your head. Okay, she's saying it's okay. Hold on, I got something I want to ask her real quick. Ace, thank you. I saw you still back. I'm sorry. I just got a quick question, and I'm gonna let you go.
Sure.
Alex and I are gonna let you go. We were talking. Did you get a chance to attend the premiere for Love and Marriage DC?
Okay, so I did not. I know I need to get out there a little bit more. I'm always Tyrone is the one that said, "Come on, baby, let's go." So I'm getting out there more, but I did not. I was able to see a lot of my cool castmates out there. It was beautiful to see like a lot of the pictures, and I'm hoping to come out when they do the next event, just to show that collaboration between the two.
Mm.
Okay, because that's and so I guess maybe I don't know if I should ask you if you watched the first premiere episode yet.
Of course I did. I'm here.
Oh, all right, all right, all right.
Yes, I'm loving Monique. I'm so glad to see her transition into this show here. I loved her on the previous show, but it's good to just see like more of everything that's really happening in the heart of DC through her perspective. So it was dope.
Right, we're talking about Monique Samuels, right? You're talking
Yes,
about Miss Monique Samuels. Okay,
yes,
yeah, and Irena, Tyler, Jamie Tyler, the
yes.
Silvas, and don't leave out Winter Williams
I know that's
because
yes,
she's got a testimony for you.
you know it. I'm so excited. This show is
Yeah.
going to be amazing. I really believe that.
Yes.
Well, Alex and I are preparing to cover that also, so we'll be bringing that on tomorrow. Actually, we'll be bringing our review recap of the first episode, and we're really looking forward to bringing some of the cast members from that show on also for interviews. So thank you so much.
Absolutely. So cool. I can't wait to see you guys come with that. That's going to be great.
Awesome. Make sure you subscribe now,
You
okay?
know it. Consider it done.
All right, dear. I'm going to drop you back down now. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye
Bye
bye,
now.
Ace. Alrighty. Wow. See,
Yeah.
she love her. She's still hanging out. She's family now.
She's hanging out backstage. Well, I enjoyed her. I definitely enjoyed her. But
Yeah.
yes, I did want to talk about in our as we're doing our maintenance. We're gonna our podcasting schedule for tomorrow. We had to move our put a ring on it put a ring on it. We're gonna be doing that tomorrow night. And what we're gonna do, guys, we're gonna do since we're behind because of all the things going on. We're gonna do a double tomorrow night. We're going to do Put a Ring on It a review, and then we're also going to do the season premiere for Love and Marriage DC.
Yeah.
Right, so we're going to be doing that, and then what we want to talk about, we're going to get into those rules of that giveaway for our subscribers. So we'll be doing that on tomorrow also. So we'll give you more information, and those will be down in the description, not today, but on tomorrow. So look for that tomorrow. You have to be subscribed. You also have to follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is ActuallyAubery, so that's pretty easy, just a channel name. And guys, we want to thank you for joining us. We really enjoyed you, those in the chat family. We want to give a special thanks and shout out to Monique, our moderators, Monique King and Ellen V, who have kept the chat safe for our viewers and our chat family, as well as especially our guests, our lovely guest, Ace today, and any guest that we have. We also always make sure that we will keep you safe from our chat. We will not allow anyone to disrespect our guests. That's not acceptable. Slander, curse words, or anything of that sort, nor will we ever bring anybody up in the middle of an interview. We'll never ask if someone asks us to drop the link and to come up. That's not happening. Not on this channel.
No ambushes on this channel. Nobody gets ambushed.
Yeah, we don't do ambushes here. So but guys, we have really enjoyed you, and with that, we're gonna take leave tonight so we can be fresh and bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and ready for tomorrow. Love you guys. Anything you want to say, Alex?
I just want to say, listen, Aubrey loves coffee. Actually, Aubery at Cashapp. So those of you that want to donate something to her so she can have cream in her coffee, maybe a little bit of extra sugar. Actually, Cashapp ActuallyAubery is scrolling at the bottom of the screen. So all donations would be greatly appreciated.
And is now also a clickable link on my banner. So you can go to my link. And you know what else is also a clickable link on my banner, Alex?
What?
Your your movie cycle. So we're going to be very soon. We're going to be doing a review, and we're going to be doing a open chat about the film that he talked about he's talked about before on this channel. It's called Cycle, CYCLA, like a bicycle. We're going to talk. Oh, here we go. Thank you, Monique. Monique has my IG handle up there on the screen. Thank you so much for that. She is so good. Wow. Hand clap, hand clap. And DeSosa has the hand clap, so I'm going to go to that. But guys, definitely follow us both at IG, and Alex is at AW Leath 67.
67. Yep.
Yep. And on our Instagram. And guys, we're gonna leave you with this. You guys, please keep in your thoughts, and if you're not a person that believes in prayers, please hold a loving, warm, and caring thought for all the people in the city of Buffalo, including our friend Mod Afro Mama, who's has a channel here on YouTube, and also, of course, Keena, who was directly affected. So we want to keep them in our thoughts, guys. And with that, we're going to bid you adieu. Take care of yourself and each other. Bye now.